What AI won't replace in your programming? Well, at least they're not right out saying that AI is gonna completely replace programming. They're saying that it will replace something, but not all of it. And I agree with that. It can only do what it was programmed to do. And guess who writes the code? The programmer. That's right. So what is it? What AI won't replace in your programming? Edge. Multi-cloud simplified. Manage all your clowns as easily as one. With VMware cross-cloud services. Oh, no thank you. No thank you. Generative AI is great at handling tedium and finding errors, but the expertise and into... Hey, what are you doing here? Get out of here, this is my stream! What the heck? You know, I think that was a YouTube video. One of those paid ads. So they technically got a view from that, and a little bit of watch time. Oh, the poor guy. So that's where the videos end up. So if you've ever found one of those shady websites that allow you to pay for views, that's what it looks like. Nobody's actually paying attention to it. It's just embedded. You might get big numbers, but you not really grow an audience. So are you really gaining anything out of it? Unless your wallet's heavy, then I guess you're getting something out of it. Your money, that is. Dataset. How does one pronounce this? It sounds French. Dataset founder Simon Willison declares that there's never been a better time to learn to program. And I agree. It is so easy to find resources on the internet. Just look up how to program. You're gonna find so many great videos. You're also gonna find a lot of shit, but it is what it is. You gotta sift through the trash to find that golden nugget. But it's worth it. Anybody can learn how to write software as long as they have the passion. They gotta care. They gotta actually be interested in it. At school, they tried to teach me French. They failed because I didn't give a shit. Learned nothing other than making fun of the pronunciations. So it declares that there has never been a better time to learn to program. And it's not because AI is going to do your coding for you. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Large language models flatten the learning curve, Willison argues, making it easier for young developers to get up to speed. You're not suggesting to use ChatGPT to learn how to write software, right? Because I wouldn't do that. I would not suggest that. I'm sure you've seen me use ChatGPT on stream. If you don't know how to write software, you're gonna believe everything that ChatGPT tells you. And from my experience, ChatGPT is very confidently wrong. So things might seem like they work at first, but there's most likely an issue that you haven't noticed. And without the experience to be able to tell what it is, you just won't know about it. You're gonna learn to be a bad software developer. You always gotta double check. ChatGPT is a great tool to get a reminder, to refresh your memory. If it doesn't sound right, then it's probably wrong. But we absolutely cannot and must not forget how to code. Instead, we can use generative AI to augment developer experience, no matter the level of experience, celebrating the will to learn. I love reading Wilson's thoughts on generative AI. He's one of the most thoughtful developers on the topic. Another great read is O'Reilly Media's Mike Lokeach, who always cuts big topics down to the most essential aspects. On generative AI and coding, Lokeach reminds us that writing really good prompts is more difficult than it seems. No, it's definitely very, very difficult. Not what it seems. It is difficult. Sometimes I just cannot get the right wording to describe the problem that I'm trying to solve. So ChatGPT tends to answer the wrong question. So I gotta try again, put the right words in it to make sure that I'm making myself clear. And then I have to double check that the response is actually correct, because it might not be. He argues to be really good at prompting, You need to develop expertise in what the prompt is about. Oh yeah, you get better over time. In fact, it might even be helping me learn English. In other words, you need to be a good programmer. You need to be good at programming English. If you give in to the seduction of thinking that AI is a repository of expertise and wisdom that a human can possibly obtain, you'll never be able to use AI productively. Low-key suggests to effectively use coding tools like AWS Code Whisperer or Google Cody, you really need to coach them on the output you're expecting. And to tell the AI step by step how to solve your development problems, you first need a deep understanding of the problem and how to prompt the AI to respond. A developer will also need to be able to evaluate when the AI gets it wrong. Yes, very, very much. Again, this requires a certain level of expertise. Yes, we want coding assistants to help us become more ambitious in the projects we take on, as Willison has separately encouraged. But no, they're simply not going to remove developers' need to figure out code. Nor should we want them to, which brings me back to Wilson's first point. Using AI to learn to code. Given that you just said that you need to be able to evaluate when the AI gets it wrong, I really do not think that it's a good idea to use AI to learn to code. For many new developers or experienced developers new to a particular language, framework, database, the learning curve can be steep. For example, they might miss a semicolon, resulting in a bizarre error message, and it takes them 2 hours to dig their way back out again. Wilson says, unsurprisingly, this can lead them to give up, thinking they're just not smart enough to learn to program. They might not be. A hot take, I know. This is where AI assistants can step in. Willison says you shouldn't need a computer science degree to get a computer to do some tedious thing that you need to get done. ChatGPT and other LLM-baked assistants can automate that tedium. GitHub engineer Jana Dogan stresses, people are too focused on code generation and completely ignore that LLMs, I will screw this word up so very often, I'm so sorry. They're useful for code analysis. Among other things, we don't need AI to do all the work. Following Wilson's argument, we just needed to automate this great, boring task that won't make or break an application, but could break the developer's confidence if they're forced to learn and do all aspects of programming when a coding assistant can take out the tedium trash. I think you have a point. There are certain things that really don't require me to think at all. I just need to type them out. At my stage, I'm a pretty fast boy. I can type pretty quickly. And I am at the point where I know how to automate some of the boilerplate. Sometimes it's just avoiding languages and frameworks that require a lot of boilerplate. But yeah, like a coding assistant. Sometimes the assistant isn't that good though. As ever, the way to get started with generative AI and software development is to get started. Start small, automating away simple tasks that you understand but don't necessarily want to have to write again and again. I've been using ChatGPT mostly to get answers to very complicated questions, things that I do not understand. Rarely have I ever used it to automate boring tasks because, like I said, I'm a fast boy already. Maybe I should try this. This article may have changed my perspective on AI. With the time saved, you'll be able to focus on learning how to tackle the thornier challenges in your code, which then puts you in a better position to automate that too, as your expertise increases. My only worry is that AI is confidently wrong. What do the people have to say about this? Someone has to write a ticket that makes fucking sense before AI can do anything. That's how I know it won't happen. The idea that AI is somehow going to be able to take the ridiculously fuzzy, incomplete, highly domain-specific, barely even a requirements I tend to see, and without having to ask for any further info, craft the code to implement it, integrate it into our existing codebase along with sufficient tests is utterly laughable. Yes, that is what I attempted to do, and that is probably what I shouldn't be doing. It's just not gonna be able to guess your domain, the context, and obscure stuff. Try asking it things about the OBS API. We'll make up a bunch of function names for you.